The politicians, they don't know. They don't know what they want. They don't know. All they want is re-election. They don't care about the people.
My home was valued at a large number about 10 years ago, and it was very easy to go in and just pull money out. The banks really wanted you to take the money out and do things. Didn't ask any appropriate questions, took your old money statements, never even looked into your current account. I take responsibility for that, but they just made it so easy, and we never thought that this bubble was going to burst, and now my house is not worth 1/3 of what it was back 10 years ago.
Because I truly believe that our financial system and maybe even our governmental system is broken. And it's riding on the backs of the middle class, which is quickly disappearing because we can't afford to do it anymore, you know. I don't know, I've taken a 20% pay cut in the last 4 years, and yet college tuition for my children has raised over 70%. How am I supposed to do that? Historically, the middle class always managed to make it. Go up a little bit, you know, and we're not. We're dying now. In fact, we are literally diminishing. And it won't be long before there isn't a middle class. And then what are we, a third world country?
Yeah.
But I think the housing speculation and all of the mortgage speculation that was done by the big banks caused the crash. And since my dad was in construction in windows, it was a very, very direct hit to our family. And we were just waiting for the day when he was going to come home and say that he didn't have a job anymore, as we watched houses being foreclosed on, as we watched the housing economy just go down. I would like to see our representatives represent the people. That's what my hope is that the representatives step up and stop listening to the sort of whispers in their ear by the big lobbyists and listen to us and pay attention to us, because I vote. I vote in every election, and I vote for who I believe is going to represent me best, and time after time, my vote seems to just go down the tubes in favor of bigger corporations.
We just have to make sure that we're getting the message out there that we're, trying to make movement, not just amongst the populace, but also with our local government institutions, because that's where the change is going to happen, especially in small towns like this. Well, I love my own particular congressman. Our congressman is Sam Farr, and he's definitely been a very positive force in this area. But to be honest, what I'm finding is that even people like him are still so entrenched within the government that there's only so much movement that can happen. There's only so much speaking that they're willing to do. And that starts with our local political committees. If you can't even convince them because of their entrenchment in the system, then something's going to have to happen outside that system, which is where we come in.
I came out to protest because I think that it's very sad that our democracy is now basically owned by big business. The banks, with impunity, gave out loans that they knew were not good loans. And really, everyone who bought a house during the bubble years was defrauded. So it doesn't make sense to me that we would continue to patronize these businesses that brought down our economy and our communities. I think there are a couple things conservatives and liberals like myself can agree on, that big money buying our government is not okay. So I think this has to be a nonpartisan thing where we work on the things we can agree on, which would be that money and politics corrupts our government. Get the money out, I think, is one solution. I would like to see Glass-Steagall reenacted so that the banks that cause this are regulated. The big Goldman and Sachs has more power in our country than our government. They own our government, left and right. And I think that if we, as citizens, demand to have our government back, we have to work together to do that. I don't think it's going to happen today or tomorrow, but I think what you see here with the Occupy movement is the beginning of America waking up and saying enough. We now live in a fascist government. Our government is owned by these big businesses, and we want it back.
Our small community of Hollister has been one of the hardest hit by the recession, the war costs, and the fraudulent home loans that were sold to millions of people in this country. And with the housing bubble and burst, and all the money we're spending on the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq and Pakistan, which amount to about $400 billion a year, we're squeezing the life out of small towns, out of Medicare, out of Social Security, out of our most vulnerable citizens who are the aged and the handicapped. And we've got to do something to reverse this. We've got to change the system so the 99% of us can have a better quality of life. And Wells Fargo Bank is one of the 5 big banks that's been heavily involved in these criminal activities.
Stop the banksters! Who are gangsters? Hey there, honey! Move your money!
If any of you have Wells Fargo's accounts, Natasha and I are going in right now to